What's up, Milk the Man? Week 8 in the books. Let's look at the Week 8 report. Best team of the week. Tush Push to Browntown, 153 points. It really is all it took this week to become the best team. So week 7, the best team was Vinsanity with 177. Week 6, the best team was Genty with 197. Week 5, the best team was No Pain No Gain with 165. Tate now being the best team with 153. Seems like the rest of the league was pretty low scoring this week. Only 3 teams with 150 points or greater. The teams at the low end of the totem pole had a great chance at getting a win this week, and that's exactly what happened. Seed 12 and Seed 11, which would be Mud Dogs and Burrow My Digger respectively, both got a win this week. Worst team goes to Puka My Neighbors. Last week I said we have a new suck team in the league. Nathan responded in text with astonishment that would be said of his team, but now we see worst record in the league and seed number 12. I think that proves to be true. All right, biggest blowout and the Milk the Man trophy goes to Mud Dogs over Puka My Neighbor. So scoring 145 was enough this week to milk all over Puka My Neighbors. Yeah, Mud Dogs, who is filthy in milk, returns the favor and perhaps still wet with the milk, grabs a hold of Puka and rubs himself all over Puka My Neighbor to get milk all over him as well. All right, let's get into the games, shall we? Big Bark versus Tush Push to Browntown. Tush Push takes this one 153 to Big Bark's 151. It was a nail biter right at the end. I was surprised that my team made it as close as they did. Congratulations to Tush Push ending his 4-game losing streak. During this losing streak, 3 of those 4 games he lost, he scored 151 points or more. If he had lost this game, that would have been another game over 150 that he had lost. I'm not happy that I lost, but I'm also not too mad that Tate ended his 4-game skid. Next, we've got Vinsanity versus Burrow My Dicker. Burrow takes this one 150 to Vinsanity's 117. Vinsanity is back to his losing ways, and Burrow My Dicker is astonishingly at 3 and 5 in seed number 10, pulling himself up by the bootstraps. He now has a 3 and 5 record along with Vinsanity. Burrow My Dicker is doing what he can with the team that he has. Scoring 150 is a big deal. In the past 3 weeks alone, 118, 112, 108. Yeah, I think this gives him perhaps a little bit of a psychological jolt. Next, we've got No Pain No Gain versus Genty. Genty takes this one 119 to No Pain's 110. At one point, I thought that No Pain looked pretty good. He looked like a formidable team, that he was going to take every team by the horns and just thrash them all over the place. Even with his 5-3 record, he is on a 2-game losing streak. Crazy enough, Genty himself was not on his A game, having only scored 119 points. Now, this is a team who is now 7-1. He has shown himself that he can be beaten with that 119 score. He scored 119 as well. Week 1, he got the win there. And the other low-scoring game he had was Week 3 at 122, and that's the only loss that he took. So Genty is a beatable team. You've got to just catch him at the right time. Otherwise, he is scoring in buckets. All right, next we've got Zombie Ate My Neighbors versus the Human Torch. Zombies takes this one 142 to the Human Torch's 114. The Human Torch has been having a pretty up and down season here. He was on a 2-game losing streak to start the season. Then he was on a 3-game winning streak, and then he lost, won, and lost again. Don't know what you're going to get from the Human Torch. He got torched this week, though. Next, we've got Anti-Up versus Apparently STDs. Apparently STDs takes this one 148 to Anti-Up's 137. Apparently rises to 5-3, and Anti-Up falls to 5-3. Not a bad record at all, especially for Apparently here, who started his season 3-0. And then he went to 3-3 and now on a 2-game win streak. These past 2 weeks Apparently scored 157 and 148. Now get this, on his 3-game win streak, 2 of those games he scored 135 and 172. Apparently is coming back as one of the teams to be feared. Last, we've got Mud Dogs versus Puka My Neighbors. Mud Dogs takes this one 145 to Puka's 92 points. At one point, even Nathan joked that my kicker is going to score 90 points. You just watch. Well, I did watch. His kicker was injured, and he scored 0. Yeah, it's just not looking great. You're just going to have to tough it out for the next 6 weeks of the regular season before we hit playoffs. Yeah, I just wouldn't be thinking about playoffs if I were you. I would just be thinking about how can you play spoiler at this point. Your season was spoiled after week 4 when you got your second win of the season. All All right, and if we just do a quick survey of the top teams in each division, 2% Effort is led by No Pain No Gain at 5-3, although he's on a 2-game losing streak. Ho L's Only is led by Apparently STDs, roaring up to the top to 5-3 with a 2-game win streak. And then we've got Skim Dreams that is led by Genty, the one and only Genty, 7-1, 5-game win streak, seed number 1 overall. Best of luck to whoever faces him. Let's go ahead and move to our predictions for Week 9. First, we've got Big Bark versus Mud Dogs. Mud Dogs, he's got 5 players that are injured on his team. He's got 1 that's questionable. Based off the health of my team, I think I'm going to take this one. I'll be going to 5-4, and Mud Dogs is going to slip down to 3-6. Next, we've got Vinsanity versus Apparently STDs. I think Vinsanity is pretty much a shoo-in to score right around 140, 150. If we look at Apparently's previous weeks here, scoring at 148 and 157, I think this will be the game of the week. I think with Apparently's most recent win streak that he is going to take this one, and his team is going to move to 6-3. Vinsanity is going to fall to the inverse, 3-6. Next, we've got No Pain No Gain versus the Human Torch. This game is interesting because at one point No Pain was amazing, and at one point the Human Torch was not amazing. But No Pain here, if we look at his team, Baker Mayfield's on a bye, running back is on a bye, tight end is on a bye, kicker is on a bye, and he's got 3 players that are injured on his team. Being that he's got a lot of moves to make this week, I think the Human Torch is going to eke out a win, or he'll move to 5-4. No Pain is going to fall to 5-4. Next, we've got Zombie Ate My Neighbors versus Genty. Now, need I say more? Genty at 7-1, number 1 in the league until he proves otherwise. I think he's just going to take this by default. Genty is going to rise to 8-1. Still seed number 1. Of course, Zombie's going to fall to 4-5, and that's not so bad, Zombie. I mean, you can't be mad about losing to Genty. Nobody can at this point. Next, we've got Tush Push to Browntown versus Puka My Neighbors. How can you assume that Puka's going to win anything at this point versus any team that is respectable? Tush Push averages around 140, 150. I'll take Tush Push's team on this one. He'll rise to 4-5, and Puka's going to fall to a very lowly 2-7. And lastly, we've got Antiope versus Burrow My Dicker. If you're going to pull for an upset at all, it's going to be this game for Burrow. Burrow does not score high at all. It's surprising that he's on a 2-game win streak, to be honest with you. Antiope here, taking this loss last week, he's coming off of a 3-game win streak before that. I think Antiope is going to get back on his horse, get back on his winning ways, and he's going to rise to 6-3, and Burrow My Dicker is going to fall back to where it belongs at 3-6. We are more than halfway through this season, getting ready for playoffs. Yeah, if there's any team right now that we could say that is definitely going to make the playoffs, it's Genty. And if there's any team that's definitely not going to make the playoffs, it's Puka. But for the rest of us, keep going strong because you have a chance. Thanks for watching, guys.